in a quiet apartment block in Lagos lives a very good landlord called Mr. Kolapo. He's a retired civil servant and he has his own health challenge as well as financial challenge. But in spite of that, he has been very loving, very kind, very empathetic with his tenants. And he has 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. The boys are still in the university, but the girl has graduated. So, while economic hardship was knocking on the door continually, every landlord in Lagos have been increasing their rents every year to be able to meet up. But Mr. Kolapo, or what the tenants call him Papa Kolapo, refused to increase his rent. For the past 4 years, he never increased it. But now, his gratuity is yet to be paid. And he's now battling with glaucoma. And the doctors warned him and advised him that he needed to do surgery, which will cost him average of 2.5 million naira. We need to do as soon as possible. In spite of this, his family members and those who are aware of it advise him, increase the rent or change your tenants. By the time you call, they come with new fees agreement and so you'll be able to raise the money. But he used to reply them that, well, these are like my children. They have their own challenges now. So leave it that I won't increase the rent. And the daughter seeing this said, Dad, I will do something to see what I can do to raise the fund. So she was applying and she wants to get this job in Ikeja, a permanent night factory work, which pays a lot because the night shift workers are paid better than the day workers. So she accepted the job, but if she had told the father would have objected, say, don't go through that stress because of me. So she would dress up as she was going for an office job and made arrangement with a cab driver that will come and pick her in the night and drop her in the morning after the schedule. Well, the tenants who had been taken as members of the family, when they now saw this, decided to gossip among themselves, casting aspersion and insinuation. What could a young girl, a beautiful lady, be going out well dressed in the night and coming back in the morning fagged out? Then she must be doing runs, she must do prostitution, do anything illegal. They were trying to do comparative analysis between Ajoke and the father. While this was going on, Ajoke was going through the rigors of the factory work with the noise of the heavy machines all night, standing all night, and coming back home fagged in the morning. She was oblivious, actually, of the gossips that have been going around in the compound and their immediate community. She only observed that their reaction and response to her had changed a bit. They were not as friendly as before, and they were trying to keep her at arm's length. But she had more than enough trouble she had to deal with. So she had to encourage herself to focus on how to make sure they're able to get enough money, save enough money to save the sight of the father. One particular day brought about the drastic change of affairs in her life and in the community and the life of the father. One of the tenants, Mr. Okafo, does Uber driving as part-time job. So one particular early morning, he got a call for a ride at a factory in Ikeja. he accepted the job and he got there, and he had to wait for the closing time so that as the workers were trooping out gently with fatigue written all over their face, he now saw a familiar face. He looked and looked again. He now called out, "Is that Ajoke?" Ajoke turned and saw, "Mr. Okafor, what are you doing here? Ajoke, what are you doing here?" Well, Ajoke now moved closer. See, with the pain and the stress, say, "Well, Mr. Okafor, this is where I work." And Mr. Okafor, because the father had taken all of them like his children, so Mr. Okafor be like just looking like the elder brother now. So, okay, tell me what exactly? So Ajoke, with the time available, just gave him a hint that the father gradually had to pay the father glaucoma. That's so his emergency had to get some work that pays well so that she can help to mitigate the situation, be able to raise at least as much as she can to help with the surgical work. Mr. Okafor felt ashamed, felt pain in his heart, and all the thoughts, all the insinuations raised in his mind. They were saying she's a prostitute, they have been too judgmental, too critical about her. All the aspersions they give her, pushing her at arm's length, so they even increase the pain of Ajoke with their attitudes. Because someone that been close to them before he now greet them, they now put at arm's length, "Good morning, they just good morning." So when Mr. Okafor go home that day, on their compound WhatsApp platform, he now shared the information he got from Ajoke, that their loving, kind, empathetic landlord has a serious problem, and instead of increasing their pain, they had to carry the pain alone by himself. So he needed money for the surgical work so that he wouldn't lose his sight, and because of that, it's why Ajoke had to be doing the permanent night job. They now understood. They felt ashamed, but some of them were already in tears. Our kind landlord, because they call him Baba. So Baba had been going through this and he didn't tell anyone. So unilaterally, they all agreed to increase their rent by 40%. And they also decided among themselves to try to raise a contribution towards the surgery. So by the following year, within 24 hours, they were able to contribute among themselves 1 million naira. So that weekend, Ajoke was not going to work on Saturdays and Sundays. He wanted to rest. They now met with Baba and Ajoke and presented the money and apologized for their attitudes, for everything. Baba was overwhelmed. Ajoke also was in tears, and all of them were in tears of pain, tears of regret. So what are the lessons from this story? The lesson tells us that you don't judge people just by what you see. Everybody have their pains, everybody have their struggles to go through. They go through. So please always never judge people by their appearances. Everyone is fighting a battle you may know nothing about at all. Sacrifice and hard work eventually pays off, and kindness often returns in unexpected ways, and kindness always have good returns at the end of the day. And communities become stronger when people care well for one another and they think well of one another, and compassion is more powerful than criticism.